It depends what you perceive an alien to be, isn't it?
But it could be anything that is
That's
not
what I mean.
of us.
Yeah.
My first
Anything.
mother-in-law
It
was
could be
an
sort
alien.
of like. It could be some sort of animal. Could not
But
like
yeah,
an
but
animal.
like we say,
There is another life
anything,
form out
any
there.
life apart from what we know is alien to us. Alien life, whether it's bacteria or the greys.
Oh, we are taking it down to bacteria.
Well, I mean, I'd say personally that there are the greys and there are intelligent life form out there, but some people would say, well, bacteria.
Bacteria is not.
And some people would just say it's complete rubbish and not listen to any of it. I'd say they're very ignorant
We
people.
evolved from bacteria.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah, we're
You're
not
not
intelligent, are we? No.
I also know an English woman that was living in Cairns, and she was an artist, and she painted lots of greys. She had the greys doing this and the greys doing it. She had a whole house full of greys.
Mm.
And she knew this Frenchman personally, and I don't know if she was just painting her image of what he was telling her, but they were all the greys with the big eyes and all that stuff.
When you go back to art, even in the Stone Age days and in the Aborigine days, and the cave walls, they have actually got pictures of flying saucers like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And that these people aren't supposed to be intelligent, the Stone Age, but you know, from all those years ago when we
They had
first
to
know
be
about
intelligent
it.
to some degree though, because they lived, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they had to have enough.
But not as us as these days, and even the Egyptian tombs and stuff like that, wasn't it? Or I don't know, same with the Egyptians, there was also pictures of aliens on the walls, they discovered it. And obviously they were intelligent people, but not as intelligent as we see ourselves to be now.
Mm.
We'd say, you know, they didn't have electric, running water.
The Egyptians were far more intelligent than us, because we can't even build a pyramid,
No.
but they did.
Well, they didn't discover electric though, did they? They didn't fly planes, so you've got to think, well, you know.
Well, maybe they were smarter.
Yeah.
There was no...
Maybe they knew life would be less,
Where would
less
they fly
much of
to?
a hassle with all
Less
this
pollution.
electric and
The
telephones.
York
and
wasn't built yet, so.
Wasn't any crooked lawyers down in Adelaide. So have we summed it up? There must be aliens,
There must be.
and there's got to be life after death. What's the next topic?
Youth is wasted on the young, I think. Today, I mean, it seems like the parents are more scared of the kids these days.
Yeah.
I think all morals and all family values and youth today is literally spiralling out of control, to be honest. Although I grew up in a different country, I didn't grow up in this country, so I wasn't part of like the youth, you know, like that, the teenage peer pressure and all that sort of that stage in.
But you were, but just in a different country.
I was in
So
a
peer
different
pressure
country, but we didn't really have it. It was a third world country. Not the schooling where I went was to the degree that is over here. The one class in my school was like 20 people, and there was about 100 odd in one sort of age group in England, isn't it? That's why it's so bad. Isn't it?
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like 80 odd that separated into 1 year.
I
I think it's the Noseth. I think they've got classes up to about 40. I think they get to 80.
no, they would never
no,
get
you
to it.
have lots of like one age group. In my school there was like 20.
1 year, you mean?
Oh.
1 year there was like 20 to 25 people in 1 year. Then you went up into the next year.
Oh,
But
yeah.
in England the schools have like about
So many more people.
More
Yeah.
population.
for one age group,
Mm.
isn't it?
Mm.
You've got like 3 classes full of however many. I don't know. I didn't go to school.
I remember being brought
So-
up, I was never allowed to interrupt an adult conversation ever. My parents were talking to people, I was like, Mum, Dad,
I
Dad,
had to
you
be
know,
seen and not heard.
was not allowed to do that at all.
Mm.
And I did have a very strict, well, I say strict, I
Only
mean,
have a little bit.
it was strict actually, I have to say.
I had quite a strict upbringing.
Yeah. But I
And I always
grew up
defended-
polite and well-mannered
yes, yeah. I did,
and
I
not interrupting
respect
adults and not
for
swearing
adults
at adults.
and know that there was the adult world and there was
And there was a massive line.
Yeah, there was this what's it called?
Dividing.
Divide. That's it. Yeah, but now it doesn't. It
Doesn't
the
seem to
kids
the young
are just
mums, yeah.
they've gone. It's unrecognisable to me. It's
It
just
is to me as well.
ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It is unrecognisable. I'm not saying it is ridiculous. I'm not saying it's not ridiculous. Well, I think the same as both of you, but you have to look at it, that we who were the, perfect ones, we older ones, the perfect ones, have taken the world into a disastrous situation. I mean, my childhood was absolutely idyllic.
Yeah, mine was.
Mine was so
I've got no
perfect.
complaints about mine.
Mine was so perfect it couldn't have been better. And my kids back in Australia, I think theirs was pretty good. But I think the kids over here are chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think it's a difference of countries. I think it's a difference of.
Well, I do.
You think it's a difference
I think
of
obviously
countries?
it's got worse.
generation.
Yeah, I know it's a generation. I
I
think
think it's
got,
generation.
But
That's what it
I
was.
can see it from a different point because I grew up in a different country. It is probably worse there than it was then. But I think you see it so differently in England. It's twice as bad. Definitely in Portugal. I completely think that.
Well, compared to Portugal, I don't know
Compared
if
to
you brought up
Portugal.
there.
Yes,
but
that's what I'm comparing it
Why
to.
do you
Yeah.
think that kids now are worse than kids were when I was young? Or when
Well,
John
because
was
just
young?
look at any
Just because
kid.
of the way that the world's
Just go to a school,
world-
just to
Yeah,
see,
but
just
it's the
look
adults.
at anyone.
It's the
Yeah,
adults
it is
that
the
have made
adults.
bad
Kids
work.
like when you were young. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Go on, you can lie.
32.
32. So I'm almost twice your age. Now, when I was young, I've known cinemas to get wrecked because Elvis Presley was playing.
Yeah, well,
Now, you tell me a cinema gets wrecked today.
we're not.
Yeah, but they've gone past that, haven't they?
You're talking
They're
about...
not interested in measly just wrecking stuff. They're actually abusing stuff, abusing people, frightening people.
Everyone's hyped up in every generation. If it's a
That was always
Beatles,
done.
Elvis, that was always going to happen anyway.
But
It's always
kids
been
should
the
have-
same.
we're
The
talking-
only difference now is the fact that you read about it, it's on the news, and it's broadcast generally. It was, when I was young,
Possibly,
it
yeah,
still
you're
happened.
possibly
You
right
never
to a
knew about
certain
it.
degree. You're possibly right to a certain degree, but that's
No,
what that's
I
in
don't
England.
agree.
I mean, I think in
You must, there are more people in the world now, so you're going to get more of it. But it still happened when I was young. We had Ballstall, which is the same as the juvenile centre now, and they were full up.
Mm.
Nothing's changed. There were murders,
Yeah.
there were killings, there were beatings.
But you can
It's
you can
just the
see
same.
it. You can I think you can see it when you're in a social place and there's families out. I know that how you see how they interact with each other and what the kids do and how much the parents take notice of the kids of what they're doing and what they allow them to do is a lot different from how I remember when I was a child. When I was a kid, you see the kids are walking to pubs on their own these days. I know I'm saying that because I work in a pub and I work in that sort of industry, but when I was a kid, kids, you had to wait outside in the garden until your mum and dad come out with your drink, or you sat there in the the family bed.
Usually.
Kids just walk in pubs now, 14, 15, and just, as if you
But
you
no
didn't do that
disrespect,
when
you
was
said
my age.
you're twice my age.
Nearly,
Now,
not quite.
when, or almost, I don't know this or what you said, but when, parents, in those days, I'm not saying those days,
Children
6 years
are
ago,
children.
but they always had, mostly they had a mum and a dad. Now, you'll be lucky
Yeah.
if you find
That is
a girl
obviously
in 18 gets pregnant tomorrow and collects, and you guarantee her bloke ain't going to be around for 2.5
This
seconds.
is
So
So the values, family values have gone up.
Yeah,
they've
but
gone.
is
You only
this
have two
the fault of the
parents.
child, or is it the fault of the law? Because we've made it so simple for people. We've made it the law so you can bring your kid into a pub. We've made it so that kids can now easily get drugs. We never had drugs when I was a kid. They were never around. But now
Well, they
they're
were
so
in the
simple.
60s. You just decide if you're in that gang that took them or not. They were around.
Yeah,
They've
but I
always
was
been around.
grown up by then.
There probably wasn't as easy to get hold of as they were now, and you don't have. You probably
We
wasn't
had-
kids dealing them
we
now.
had
I mean, you have
different
kids
types of
dealing
drugs,
dealing
you know,
drugs now, don't you?
But cocaine, heroin, and that sort of stuff wasn't around. If
So,
it
I mean,
was,
I
it
think
never
the
was
child
in our area. But,
that part of life now, the childhood years where you can be a kid, it's gone.
yeah. But
Yeah.
when I was young, if you
And
did
just
something
be a
wrong,
kid.
a copper would come up to you and he'd give you a good slap round the ear. And you knew that copper meant it. And you'd go home and tell your mum, that policeman hit me, what for? Because I didn't wallop. And the mum would hit you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you.
But now the policeman can't even do anything to you, they can't even touch you.
and
And if your parents slap you, your parents get put in prison.
Yeah.
And it's all because our stupid laws
yeah.
have been changed in such a way that we've lost the basic values. Because our law does not permit us to intervene.
But you still have to
ruined
agree,
ourselves.
girls are getting pregnant younger and younger and their blokes aren't sticking around. Hence children that haven't got the discipline of both parents. And obviously they are going to be
Yeah.
wilder.
But
And it's not the kid's fault, it's just the way it is.
no, but why did a lot of girls get pregnant?
In Claxton, so they can get themselves benefits, sort of roof
And a
over their
home.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another way of saying, in the old days, if you got pregnant, you lived with your family. It was,
If you got pregnant
but now,
years
no
and years
one cares
ago,
if you're
then
pregnant.
you were unmarried, you were put into,
Yeah, you
into
were,
a
like,
home and you were
yeah.
hidden from
But nobody
society.
cares now.
Nobody
So
gives a...
if you've got a teenage daughter who's pregnant, oh, you can't live here, you have to get a council place, and the council will give her a
Yeah.
place.
So I mean,
And
so-
that's
so
why so
youth-
many girls get pregnant.
Youth is wasted on the young now, I think. They don't appreciate it.
They do not appreciate what they've got in the future.
But
They
you
just
can't,
think they're
you
young.
can't blame the young because they're too
I'm
young.
not blaming the young,
no,
I'm
it's the
blaming
guidance.
the
Parents.
society.
But that's all the real key things that actually that
Yeah.
have gone wrong, isn't it?
It's a
The
society.
parents don't chastise their children because their children run them. Their children tell them
Yeah,
what they're doing,
Mm.
and the parents are scared of the kids. They don't want the kid to have an easy
Mm.
life. So
Mm.
it's the whole that family, the ladder and everything is. The hierarchy of what who's in charge, who wears the trousers and everything is all completely gone. So that's why the kids have got no respect.
See, in the earlier times, and it's not back very far, going back very far, the father was the head of the family, and the mother did what the father said, and the kids did what the mother said, and there was the line of control. Now, when the what's the feminine movement called? Whatever it's called.
Suffragettes.
Nice, but oh, I don't know about
What, in
that.
the-
But anyway, as Jermaine Greer,
Jermaine Greer.
Women's lib.
and, yeah, women's lib came in. Now, that's great in
Thank
many
God for
ways.
that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
great.
right. That's what I'm just saying. It's great in many ways, but you see, it's the men that are lost. The men are lost. When they were the king of the family and the king of the house, they knew where they were, everybody knew where they were. But now, they're lost. They don't know what to do. That's why I say,
No, I
fellas,
don't agree with that
you don't
to a
agree.
certain extent.
No, I
Yeah,
think the male, I
yeah,
do
yeah.
agree. I think the male
Yeah.
ego is that bloody
Yeah.
big. They are lost. What?
Yeah, they're lost. They're lost.
Yeah, but I mean, when it was like that, and it was the man told the woman, and the woman, then it went down the line.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I crap
and then
that
you
was.
knew where you were.
No, I'm
No,
not saying it's
it
not,
wasn't. You
but
were
they're
told
lost,
the women,
yeah.
but then that's different for the women. The men knew where they were, the kids knew where they were, but the women were just told where they were. What
That's
they
right.
was to
Yeah,
do.
exactly. They were just told.
They were just
Yeah,
told,
that's
and that was
right.
like, yeah,
That's the way it
I
was.
say exactly.
Mm.
But
It was a line of control, like in the army or anything else.
you can't blame women's
not
league
blaming
or
anybody.
women having a say and women
Yeah,
stand up for
that's
themselves
nonsense.
on what's happened with society and with kids and what's happened there.
Yeah, but it's
and morals.
the women have
Family
got to the
value.
point where they know where they're going. The women, see, you can see it in the school results. The girls are winning all
Girls
the...
who get
the
pregnant
girls
at
who-
that age and that's what they want to do. They're not aspiring to anything else further,
No,
are they? They're
yeah,
they're not
bailing
seeing,
out.
they're not seeing anything further than that. And they're not looking at making anything of themselves. They're
Mm.
well. I mean, some of them maybe are. I mean, some of them may be accidents. You can't generalise 100%. But obviously, they're happy to just set up and just get their benefit and just look after their offspring.
If they're happy, I suppose it's all right. If they're happy.
Yeah, but are they really happy?
Well,
Yeah, they
Have
have
they
to
just
be
they've just settled for
They're just settled.
But I think the first thing is the men are lost.
Yeah.
They've lost their way. They don't know what to do. And of course, in the older, well, through the years, sometimes there's been plenty of jobs, and then there's been no jobs, and then they have a war, and then they get people employed again. I think that may be what they used to do, kill a lot of the fellas off, and then they'd have something to do because they'd have to build the houses up again. And there hasn't been any wars. In the
Who do you
older,
mean would kill the fellas off?
well, in the wars, you'd kill millions
Yeah,
and
of
millions
course,
of
yeah.
people.
But,
And then you'd have to build yourself up again for another 25 years. That's what happened last century.
I mean,
It was
I
the
haven't,
First
I don't
World
think anybody
War.
thought, let's just kill the blokes off. I mean, I think it's just,
part
yeah.
population control.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's, no, but if you look at all of the
It could be
history,
one of those way the world works
But
to.
you go
Right,
back
It's
to,
just government, isn't it? It's
but
war.
you go back to history.
And men decided that
Yeah,
your
well,
lads would
okay,
go out
yeah,
to
yeah.
war. It weren't women that said, oh,
But
come
you-
on, let's have a couple of big,
But
massive
you go back
wars.
through history,
What about Margaret
the men
Thatcher
have been
and
killing
Falklands?
one another.
I'm saying the First and Second World War. Margaret Thatcher's different. I
The
understand
Iron
Margaret
Lady.
Thatcher Falklands, yeah. The Iron Lady.
Yeah, the men have been killing one another until fairly recently. I mean, they're still killing one another, but not as much as they used
And
to.
they will, and they will.
Well, it's time they stopped, isn't it? And that's the trouble. People don't know what to do.
Yeah, and
They
if it's
don't know
not,
how
then what
to.
will
They,
happen? There has to be, I think. Who was it said to me? I think somebody said to me that the world will end when there is world peace, because they're, for God knows, I didn't know, I didn't think, oh yeah, that makes sense to me, but somebody said that to me once, and I thought, that's a rather bizarre thing to say.
It's a funny thing.
Yeah, but apparently, and it was some religious person, but
Oh,
who said it to me and who it was, I can't think for the life of me, but somebody did say it to me. And but then, if the world was at peace, then yeah, what would everyone be doing?
No, why shouldn't we be at peace?
Well, there's no reason why we shouldn't be.
Millions
yeah,
and millions of people out of work. And
Not with the money solution. You wouldn't be out of work. I won't go into politics, but there's no need.
I think there would, and I don't think there would be enough money in the world to look after all these people, because you've got to feed them.
What you're saying, Cole, is the reason the strife, and people are still living in the times where they did have to kill one another off, and they did have to say how we're going to find the money, and they haven't advanced. I mean, they've advanced a certain amount of technology, but of course we could live in peace. Of course we can. We're in this mixed up situation where some people are going this way, some people that way, and some that way, and everyone's going.
I think there's always going to be conflict of something. The world is never going to. No one is ever going to all agree with each other.
If you lived in peace.
Yeah, we could all live in peace in an ideal world, but I can't see it ever being a reality. It happening.
Pessimist.
Because there's too many different religions, too many different beliefs. Nobody all agrees about everything, do you? You can't please all people all the time, like they say.
Yeah, but disagreement brings confusion and war and destruction
and aggression. And
that's what disagreement brings. Actually, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. See you. Let's have it. I mean, that's ultimately what happens in wars in different countries.
But if you lived in peace, everybody that's got a job in the armament business or the MOD or there's not that. There'd be no need for them.
No, they can do something.
So there's not enough jobs for them.
Of course there is.
Because
they can be looking after old people. Or they could be building wind farms. They could be. Look, there's so many.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about in an ideal world again, which we don't live in. I mean. Yeah,
but that's why, if we come back to the topic, that's why the kids are all mixed up, because our generation, yours and mine, I can't blame you girls yet. You're not old enough. But we've messed it all up. No, we've messed it all up. I'm not talking about just the little families. I'm talking about in general. It's our generations that should have fixed it by now. I don't think there's any excuse whatsoever.
I just blame it all on the politicians that have changed all our laws to give. They've taken all the laws away where you can punish people, and because you can't punish a person, he gets away with more and more and more.
And then other people see that, so then they do it, and it's a vicious circle.
And if someone turned around and said, right, okay, you stole this person's car, you get the birch. And I keep talking about the birch, and my family gets fed up with it, but you give someone the birch, and I mean, it's not a little twig, this birch, it's a flaming great half a tree, and it's still in law in the Isle of Man.
Is it?
Yeah, Isle of Man's the only place still got it, as far as I know. But you get the birch, and you know you've been waiting, you don't want to go back for a second one.
No.
But what punishment we got? You put community service, you will clean that pavement for 6 hours. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, righto.
So he goes down, he does the 80 hours of cleaning up a road or digging a garden. What punishment is that?
But that's the trouble, they can't find something for them, constructive for them to do.
It's all about human rights now, isn't it? Oh, nobody can do or say things as human rights. Jesus Christ. You can't even say blah blah black sheep anymore. Oh, I'll tell you what, human rights, whatever.
You can't even have a nativity thing anymore. But it's our government, doesn't it? No, the Muslims don't object to us having all this thing. The Arabs don't object, and the Jews don't object. But our government says, oh, well, we must be fair. We won't have that. They can have what they want, but we mustn't have it.
Yeah, of course we
don't. Everyone should have the right to worship their own God.
Whatever, yeah.
Luckily, I'm not religious.
No.
But for those who are, you should have a right to worship your God.
It's not about religion, it's about racism or race, which is a totally other subject we really aren't talking
yeah, we're
about
still on children.
Exactly, we're still on that.
No, unfortunately, I'm going to have to break because I'm going to have to shoot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as much as we're getting into it.
We're just warming up.
We are, but we can
restart
next time.
Was you brought up in Portugal? Are you Portuguese?
No, I'm not Portuguese. I moved to Portugal when I was 7, just turned 7, and I went my whole schooling through till I was 16, and then moved back here.
So do you speak Português?
Sim, falo português.
Could suggest.
Before you girls go,
She knows.
before you go, you
After
have
10 years I should, otherwise it would be a disgrace.
Oh, Dave, you never spoke to me in Portuguese.
We never asked me to.
You wouldn't understand what she did.
No, I wouldn't know.
No.
I didn't know that about you. No.
Oh,
Before,
I'll talk Portuguese to you later.
before you go, you Portuguese, we have to have one or two topics for next week.
Well,
Not next time.
I think we could possibly continue with this. And
What are we on to?
with this
Child, what was it called?
youth culture.
Youth culture.
And how,
Now, we've got to
politics,
have another one up our...
family, and
yeah,
everything affects
Just
it.
another product, another topic, anything. You can say one of those things. But there's youth culture, and what else? Just to get us started next time.